Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian Indices report, and starting with the ASX here on the daily chart for the ASX, and we're really depending on strategy rather than the wave count as such, because we've got a few variations on the wave count here, as you can see. So from the top here, we've got 5 waves down here. So that means that we can either have wave C or 4 in. If that's going to be the case, then we can look at this here being wave 1 up here, and then an ABC back here for wave 2, and then in that case we would go higher at that stage into wave 3, 4 and 5 further up here. So that's a real possibility at this stage. The other possibility, I'll just remove those there, we don't need to worry about those just yet. The other possibility that we're looking at here is that the 5 waves down will produce another 5 waves over here, and we can look at that as an A and a B and a C wave here for either the B and the C down here, or we could also look at it as a much bigger bearish count as well, as all of this down here for wave 1 and back for wave 2 here. But either way, we're still we're still in this space here, so we don't really, we're not like in a trend, we're in a counter trend from the move down here. The move down through here as an A and a B and a C, this is the, at 6,100 is the 61.8% retracement level we'd be looking for, and we'll need to see 3 waves up there. So we're looking for, don't need that one, and this is where we are here now with this as an A up here for an A wave, and then we can come back to the B wave here. So that's really what we're looking at here at the moment. So this top being in play here and then up to here at this point here. So it's a bit of rough trading within this space here. I do have to point out that there is a count in the US that in the S&P 500 we've got 2 counts there, but one of the counts is having wave 4 here and having wave 5 down here. So it is possible that this can just move lower from here. So we just need to be a little bit mindful of that, and with that in mind, we're looking at this move. Will this move down through here? Let's just go and have a look at it. So just to recap that, the main concerns we have at the moment is that we will look at this as an A wave, a B wave down to this particular point here, and then a C wave up. But we just need to be mindful in this space that we could end up with a move further down from here. So we wouldn't want to be long, at least, at that point. We would only want to be long if this market came down below here and then found support on the 5,800, then we could look at building a trade to the upside, but not while we're under the 5.8 at this particular stage. So let's start drilling in. So on the 4-hour chart here, so this move here at the moment is looking like an A wave and a B wave and a C wave down into this space here. This B wave here may be finished already. We just need to look at that. But this is where the cutoff point is here. But like I said, with the US, we're looking to go down further here. So we need to be mindful of that. So don't take any equity trades or long trades until we're back up onto this 5,800 here, but this will be governed by the banks, I'd imagine. So just drilling in a little bit further here for the hourly chart here and looking at this particular move here. So I wasn't expecting this little move to take out this high here, but it's just done it by a tad, so I have to put the high in here. In the US, it wasn't the case. So in the US, we were looking at this as being down for 1 and 2 and so on down here, not taking this high out here, but it's done it here, so I need to label that. So in this case here, from the top here, I can count 5 waves down here. Okay, so this is either the B wave. I was expecting it to pull back up into this box, but that can be the B wave here. It's a little bit small. Otherwise, we're going to see this rally back up into this space here for this. So a little bit of a tricky situation here. If I just go to the 15-minute chart here and have a look at that further. So the natural way to count this here would be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here. That can actually be counted differently from this too. This can actually be counted, this is a bit weird, but all the way down here. In fact, it's actually a better count like that with an extended third wave. The situation here though is that we can count 5 waves up here for the A wave, 3 for the B, and up for the C here. So that can be the ABC correction here. The other way that this could play out is that this can be the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave over here with this. Now this will change if in this move down through here, you can see so far that it's got 1, 2, 3 here. So while it's got that third wave, while it's only got 3 waves there, it would be a B wave and a C wave up here. But once it breaks this here, then we'll have 5 waves down. So then that 5 waves would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 down to here. Then there would be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave back up to the 50-60% mark in this space here. So that's what we could look for here. So taking that high here, whoops-a-daisy, we don't want that. We'll just get rid of that. So using the Fibonacci tool here, we can take it down to this space here. Look at this coming back into this space here, and then moving down from there in this sort of manner here. Okay, so yeah, and it's natural to have a bounce coming down onto the 5-8 here as well. So the thing is, this morning is just to see if we get 5 waves down from this particular point here. Okay, I don't think the tick chart can tell us much more on this. A little bit. Okay, so so yeah, what we're looking for here would be this wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and then wave 5 down onto the 5-8 here, and then we'd see, if I can copy this, we'd see a little A, B, and C wave coming back into this space here. Okay, it'd be play out like that. So even though we've got different counts in, I can't draw on this side here, but that's the picture. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, A, B, C here, and then down further through here. So it's going to take a little while to migrate from being support here on the 5-8 to being the resistance. And this is part of it here. This is the first bounce back off it, so then down again, bounce off here, down again, so eventually it'll be trapped under here. And as I mentioned, we're targeting this area through here, so we can look for 5 waves as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. If we do move below here, then we'll be in line with the US count, so make sure that you understand that count at that point. Okay, moving over to the other markets. So I'm going to start with Hong Kong first rather than China. So with Hong Kong here, we're looking at this wave 3 low, and we're looking for basically an A and a B and a C wave here. So in this case here, yeah, so it's possible to have wave 4 here, I guess, but I always just wanted to see until we were, once the 25,000 was the resistance, then we could call that topping. But otherwise, we'd need to look at this as an A and a B and a C wave into this space here. And if that's the case, then we'll look at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to the upside here. Otherwise, this move off the low here would be an A wave up to here, a B wave and a C wave, and then down from that point. But this looks impulsive to the upside here, so I'm still quite happy with this A and B and C to this particular point here, which would leave the Chinese market in a slightly different pattern here, but we know that it's in a different pattern, so we're looking for wave 3 here as an A and a B and a C, and because this has taken out this space here, I have to look at this in terms of a triangle now. So C, D, A, B and C here for the E wave, and then down from that point there. If I'm wrong, and this, I mean, I expect this to move up to here, then back and then up. But if this moves straight down through here, you'll need to be short below this low here. But otherwise, we'll look at this as a triangle pattern here that's not finished yet, and then down from that side there. Okay, so over to the Nike here, the Japan. So I just want to go to the daily chart here for a moment. So in this case here, we've been looking at, and this is pretty much the same as the other markets, and here we need to look at this as wave 3 over here, an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here. This is rather sharp for a C wave, and it does concern me a lot, being that sharp. But at the same time, this is what we've got here. I know that some folks have counted this up here as 5 waves. It's a bit hard to get up there in 5 waves, but I could see how you could push that. But if that is a top over here, a top in place here as wave 3 here, wave 4 here, or even wave 4 here, and having this as a top here, we'd still be in the same sort of situation to a point. So okay, here we go. So I mean, the count here really would be having this as wave 1 here, and this is wave 2 sitting here, and then we'll be going up for wave 3, 4 and 5, going up in here, higher up, well, much further up than that. But so realistically, this wave 4 can be a low in here, and this can be wave 1 and wave 2 to this particular point here, and then moving up from this point. So we need to, I mean, the other markets around the world, are not really ready to do this, but if this top is taken out here, then we need to be looking at the long side here. I know that we could also be looking at it in terms of a larger triangle, and then that way we would also need to look at this as wave A here and wave B here as well, with wave C coming up here to make wave D, then wave E here, or even a bigger bearish picture as well. But I can't go there just yet. But with this wave 4 being in low here, it's logical for it to be there. So I need to keep it on the table until proven otherwise. So in this case, up here for wave 1, and then back here for wave 2, because it's pulled back into the 50-60% retracement level area here. Okay, so if that is the case, or even if it's wave B and we're going up for wave C here, we're not going to go long unless we've got 22,000 as support. Okay, so this technically that would be the long trade here, but we can bring that down to down into a space here if we get support. So we would need to see the arrival, the reaction which is going on now, would need to see the first high above the level, then we'd see another correction, and we'd use that reference point high there to go long there. So if that's the case, we'll do that. The US markets have got more space to go down, so we also need to be mindful of that as well. So taking these lows out here would also be the short trade setup, because when we think about this here, the market has moved through like this here, but in reverse. So the market's, let's just draw a picture of that. So on the short side, the market comes down and bounces off here, bounces back up, moves through here, and then come back up and has the retest. So it's moved through, come back and retest, and that's our reference point low. So if that's breached, then we'd go low from that point. Okay, and because it's below the 61.8%, it means that we'd be in a trend at that stage, and we would be coming further down at that point. Okay, This is this is at the 50% retracement level in this grey box here, right, rectangle box. So it's probably possible to have this wave 2 sitting here, but it's just a little bit small. But at the same time, we're not going to miss anything, because if this moves through here, then we'll be on that pathway to the downside, and this would count like this here. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then down for 5 here, an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. I've got this a little bit closer here, but you know that this is the retest of the 22 here, and this would be the reference point low here. So you can move in on that. This also gravitates to 21,500, so you could also wait for the 21,500 to become the retested resistance too, if the market was going to move down here, because it would only bounce back up here anyway, come back, and it's the same with the trend line here. It will come and hit the trend line here, bounce back here, come down, maybe come down to here, come back and test that, and then move down as well. So you could also use the 25 here, 21,500 as a retested resistance here to go short here as well. Like I said, we wouldn't go long. The other point here I need to make too is that this is where the risk is. The move down through here, the 50 and the 61.8% retracement level is back up over here somewhere. So it's possible that all this here is just the A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave coming into this space and then down from that point there. Probably not the case, but that's the 50-60% retracement area there. So if that's the case, and if you are short in any of this space here, you wouldn't, even if it came back up here, you wouldn't get out unless it actually had the tested support. So trading long, moving above the market here, that's not support. Support is when it comes back down and there'll be a process to it, and building back up and so forth, and then you would use these as your stops, but otherwise allowing it to top out and tumble down to the lower side there. And India is the same as well here. So when we're looking at India here, if I can go to the bigger picture here. So in this case, a wave 3 here, an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here. So it's possible to have a low in here, right? And it's possible that we can go, straight up from here into wave 5. That's possible here. So once again as well, we need to have an idea of the wave counts. Sometimes we know what the wave count is and we can move into it, not a problem. Other times we end up with either 2 counts or even 3 counts or even 4 counts. So then we need to work our way through, and then the trade setups become pretty important, more important than the wave count at that particular stage. With this here, we can look at it as wave 5 of C or 4 and completed here. And if that's the case, then we would need to look at this as wave 1 here and wave 2 coming back into this space here, and then moving up through there. Otherwise, if we look at all of this coming down here as wave 1 here, and back for wave 2, then we'd need to consider this an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave to here. And the time it gets to the C wave here, we'll have a pretty good idea of what's what, because with corrections, we always think in bullish correction. So the A wave coming down is normally the sharpest, then the B wave, and then the C wave is on more of an angle here. And the more angle that's on, the better it is, and more I know it's going to go up from that point. So the wave A is normally sharp. And that's the same thing too when we're coming down. The wave A will be sharp, and then the wave B, and then the wave C will be on a bit of an angle like this. So if this wave C coming up here is actually like acting like a third wave, well, then we'll know that we're in the bullish mode of 1 and 2 here and going up for 3 here. But either way, we'd want to try and get a setup in here, wouldn't we, to get into this C wave. But at the same time, we can see that the B wave here is not completely pulled back to its 50-60% retracement level. That's not the end of the world, but we need to note that. So on the 4-hour chart here, the thing I like about this here is that this move down through here acts quite nicely as as an A wave and a B wave and a C wave here, it is a bit spiky rather than playing it out. So I have to put a question mark there a bit. But at the same time, this move here is up here in 5 waves. So this can move up here, move back in 3 waves to a 50-60% retracement level, which would bring us around the 10,500, and then it can move up from that point. So if that's going to be the case, then I thought that we could just pretty that high may or may not be in place, but if I can just bring that down here, once we've got that little ABC there, then we'll be on our way from that point. So I'll just save that, and we'll see how we go. I mean, wave 2's a sharp, and it's done all the right things here for that. So just on the hourly chart here, it would look a little bit like this. So this is completely different direction from the other markets that we've been looking at as such, but the Japanese market can do this. The Australian market could even do this as well. So here, it was a little bit spiky here, but it does count down here nicely as 5 waves into here, as an A and a B, and then another 5 here. So it does count as corrective here. This little move here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here counts nicely as an impulse wave. So I think that we just basically, if I can just clean this up a little bit further here, this moving down here as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, then moving up here. So then that would give us a nice clean, that high and the B wave high here would give us a nice way to move in long on this here. I know this is against the grain with most other markets, but like I said, we have to trade what we see, and this is here. So in this case, we wouldn't need to be short unless this 10,500 became the retested resistance. So if I just copy that here and reorganize this. So if this market comes down in an A and a B and a C, that will be fine. But if it comes down further and has a reference point low here, then we can take that here and put that here, and then that would have given us 5 waves down at that point, so we can go long at that point. So but we have to wait for that reference point to come in here. This doesn't look like 3 waves up as a corrective wave here, so yeah, we could be on the right track here, but still we've got a couple of sessions before this is going to fall into place. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.